The Mercedes-Benz CLA was once a rather popular model here in Malaysia, but Mercedes-Benz Malaysia has taken its time in introducing the second generation model here for our market, and finally, almost a year and a half later after its initial global debut, we finally get this here, the 2020 Mercedes-AMG CLA45S 4-door Coupe. Now, that's a long name. So how is this different to the A45S hatchback? Time to find out. The CLA is only available in Malaysia in a single version, the CLA45S that you see here. This is priced at just under 450,000 ringgit, which is a small increase over the old car. Surprisingly enough, that makes it slightly cheaper compared to the A45S, even though this is clearly the slightly bigger, much more aggressively styled and a lot sexier machine. Mercedes-Benz Malaysia says that is because the A45S is available here in Edition 1 form, and once that runs out, it'll go back to be slightly cheaper compared to this one. Now, those of you waiting for the standard non-AMG version of the CLA, you'll be disappointed to know that Mercedes-Benz Malaysia has pretty much no plans to bring those in. Instead, they're focusing on the AMG version only for the CLA body style. So if you really want a small Mercedes-Benz sedan, you have to get the A-Class sedan, which to me is not such a bad thing. As for the CLA AMG, that's good news to the owners, because every time you see a CLA, you know it's the AMG, because there are no lesser models to sort of like dilute the brand here. Under the hood, no surprises, it's exactly the same as the A45S AMG. It's a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine making 421 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque. All that goes to all 4 wheels through an AMG 8-speed dual-clutch transmission for a 0 to 100 time of 4 seconds flat. So technically this is a little bit slower than the A45S that makes it in 3.9, but then again, 4 seconds flat is nothing to be ashamed about. Now, I've spoken about this engine with more details in the A45 video, so make sure you watch that one too. On to looks, personally I think this is a lot more aggressively styled car compared to the A45 hatchback. It has a lot sharper details with a fantastic wide and low stance that's true to a coupe form. Between the two AMG 45 options in Malaysia, this is the one that stands out a lot more in my opinion, especially in Malaysia's unique situation where there's a lot of regular A-classes running around, and whereas the CLA is only sold as an AMG. This somewhat exotic looks adds on exclusivity, and it's a whole lot sexier too. Personally, I think it helps that this car goes without the Edition 1 package, so it doesn't get the busy black strips and side flicks, and especially the juvenile side stickers. The whole car, I think, looks a lot cleaner and more classy in comparison. Around the side are huge 19-inch wheels in a cross-spoke design, while the front brakes are the same huge 6-spot calipers as on the hatchback. At the back here, you get this rather subtle boot lid spoiler and center diffuser, while the quad exhaust pipes are finished in bright chrome. Fun fact, these are slightly bigger in diameter compared to the regular CLA45 because this is the uprated 45S model. And as with most things, bigger is usually better. One of the things that I love about the CLA are the frameless coupe doors. It just looks and feels a little bit more exotic compared to a regular door, don't you think? But as for the interior, it's pretty much identical to the A45S. Just how identical? Well, when you start the car up, the car that appears on the front screen is the A45 and not the CLA45. The rest of the car is pretty much the same. You get the same air vents, the same leather dashboard and seats. The differences are just minor trim details, such as the steering wheel that is now part Alcantara and part leather instead of full Alcantara. The seats have the same difference. It's now part Alcantara, which to me is a nice thing, and the piping is now red instead of yellow on the A45. One more thing, seat belts are contrast red, which is fantastic. Onto equipment, again, it's very similar to the A45, but there are one or two differences. Number one, this car does not get the TrackPace app, but then again, since this is sort of like tuned more for families, that's not a big loss again. Also, this car gets the all-around view parking cameras, which the A-Class doesn't. So yeah, overall I think this is the better bet. As for the rear space, despite this having a low sloping 4-door coupe roofline, the space back here is not too bad. In fact, it's a lot better than what you would expect and definitely a huge improvement over the first generation CLA. I am 167 centimeters tall and there's a lot of legroom left, and headroom is not too bad either. The A-Class definitely has a bit more space, especially in terms of headroom, but for a 4-door coupe, this is surprisingly good. And for a family car, it's not a bad choice. On the safety front, this car gets pretty much everything you want and need basically. It gets the full suite of 7 airbags, electronic stability control, autonomous emergency braking, blind spot assist, and even active lane keep assist. It even adds on the driving assistance pack that is missing on the A45, and that includes Distronic adaptive cruise control and semi-autonomous driving features. So there you have it, the 2020 Mercedes-AMG CLA45S 4-door coupe here in Malaysia. It certainly does have its drawbacks on the inside, but on styling, looks and exclusivity alone, this is the one I would get over the A45S. Over to you, what do you think? Which one of the two do you prefer and why? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll get this car out of the road very soon. Until then, thank you for watching and stay safe.